Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. This is Hany Ismail from Planning Engineer website. In this video, I'm going to answer one of our colleagues' question about the shop drawings and the extension of time. Our colleague is asking, okay, I have a shop drawing submitted to the consultant and it should be returned within 14 days, but the consultant took much longer time to reply me, and when I submitted my extension of time, it was rejected. I explained to the consultant that this drawing is affecting my schedule, but the consultant did not approve my extension of time. So in this video, we are going to explain when you are entitled for an extension of time because of the shop drawings review delays, and how to be sure that the important activities in your schedule are protected against such behavior. First of all, we need to be logic. It means if the shop drawings linked to the non-critical activity and the response from the consultant was delayed, you are not entitled for an extension of time. However, if the shop drawing is linked to a critical activity and it was delayed, then you are entitled for an extension of time under certain conditions. I'm going to tell you these conditions now, and we are going to discuss several scenarios how you are going to claim for an extension of time because of shop drawing delays. So let's go and see. This is our traditional scenario where we have here shop drawing submittal, then we have here shop drawing approval, then we have here now, let's say, two scenarios. The first scenario is your shop drawing, or sorry, your construction activity is here. Okay, so in that case you have some lag. Let's assume that each square of this one represent 1 week. Okay, so in that case you have here how many weeks? 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks. Okay, you cannot say anything if the approval is delayed. So let's assume you submitted the shop drawing at this point and the consultant reply in this point, then nothing you can say. If the consultant reply in this point, nothing you can say. At this point and at this point also nothing you can say. Nothing you can say in terms of raising the extension of time, but I will tell you in a second what you should say in each stage. Okay, now the second scenario, if you have your activity linked here, then in that case you need to be sure that you have the response on this date. Okay, I'm going to tell you now the steps and how to be sure that you are covering your extension of time requirements. Okay, what is the correct, or what is the most correct action to do in these two scenarios? This activity, we agree it is important activity, and we are talking about this scenario now. So once you reach this stage, you need to raise a letter, okay, telling the consultant there is a potential delay. Okay, potential delay. Why it is potential? Because you are not yet reaching this stage, but you are telling your consultant, Mr. Consultant, you should reply at this stage, but you did not, and now there are potential delays. Please respond as soon as possible. At this stage, okay, you might send another letter okay, with response deadline, telling the consultant, okay, you are Mr. Consultant, you didn't reply my shop drawings and it is linked to a critical activity. Please be sure to reply on or before this date, otherwise we will have a delays to our project. Okay, then let's assume that your consultant didn't reply and you reach this stage, then you will send another letter, okay, update of delays. Okay, now you are going to tell the consultant, I have delays of 2 weeks, of course assuming that this activity is critical. If this activity is not critical and you have, let's say, 30 days float, then no use of doing all of this. You are assuming that this activity is a critical activity. Now we reach this stage that you send update letter that we have delays now by 2 weeks. Let's say, okay, we reach a stage where the consultant give you the answer here. So we have here 4 weeks. Then you immediately send EOT, extension of time, equal to 4 weeks. By the time you reach this stage, see how many letters we sent. This is the first letter, second letter, third letter, and this is the EOT. So we did not wait until the problem happened and then we raised our extension of time. We already warned the consultant 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, and then we raised our EOT. And in that case, our position will be very strong. One more thing I would like to tell you, that you need to have approved baseline, okay, and you need to be sure what is the duration of the reply or the response duration from your consultant if it is written in your contract, and be sure you got it correctly here, because this could simply destroy your claim. If you put here this, for example, 7 days and your contract say 14 days, so simply the consultant will say, okay, you put 7 days, but contractually I have the right to respond in 14 days. The third thing, that you need to be sure you apply the correct calendar to the approval. Maybe your consultant is working 5 days per week, or you didn't consider holidays, so be sure that this all included in your approval. One final thing, be sure that you submitted the shop drawing on time. Maybe you delayed the submittal, maybe you didn't submit it here, you submitted here, for example. So you already have 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks of delays. Although these 4 weeks, still you have here 4 weeks as a float, but this will make your position weaker because you already delayed the submission. You burned all the floats and you give the consultant no floats at all. So again, let's recap about this one. What you should do if you have an important activity, okay? This important activity, we have here the shop drawing submittal, we have here the shop drawing approval, and this is the activity. First of all, you need to be sure that this activity is near critical. What you mean by near critical, ya Hany? Near critical means you have 2 to 5 days of float. Because let's say you have here 30 days float, then your case will not do anything. You need to be sure that this important activity have only 2 to 5 days of float, okay? Especially if you have shop drawing submittal, shop drawing approval, and then the construction activity with some gap. Also try to have some gap here as a safe period where we can do the exercise as we talk here. We send letter number 1, letter number 2, letter number 3 within this gap. So this is my advice for you to have a solid claim extension of time based on shop drawing. Let's summarize them. First, let's make it another color. One, okay, submit your drawings on time. So this is the first good intention thing you did. Two, send letter 4. Okay, the first stage is potential claim, then reply deadline, then weekly update of delays. Sorry for my handwriting, it is awful, I know. Okay, then EOT based on reply date. Okay, so these are the letters. The third thing you need to consider for these important activities, the near critical activity. Once you did these 3 steps, you can get you right for extension of time without any argument with the consultant. Of course, there will be a discussion, but not argument that will destroy your extension of time. I hope you find this video useful to you. See you in the next one.